Aloha, brothers and sisters. My name is Clayton Curl, and today I'm here to present to you my Pokeyoke and hypothesis testing. Okay, so let's get right into it. First, I'm going to present my lean portfolio, which was Pokeyoke. Pokeyoke is a Japanese word that means mistake proofing, or finding a problem and coming up with a solution. So, what I decided to do, being a member of the BYUH soccer team, is I decided to find a problem here on campus, and I focused on our soccer team. So our soccer team, since we're a low budget team, we're not like other schools. We don't have a lot of staff and faculty that help us set up things like game days. And so I decided to focus on that problem because usually a tradition we have on the team is seniority. So we usually put freshmen in charge of setting up the field for games. So here I have a list of procedures that need to be done on game day. First, as you can see, you have to take out 4 corner flags and put them in each corner. You got to get 8 sandbags, 4 for each goal, and put them on the goal so the nets and the goals do not move. Then you got to get 14 benches, 2 for each team. You got to get 20 folding chairs, 10 for each team, 2 tents, 1 for each team, 6 NCAA official game balls, and 2 tables for the scores test. This is all done by student athletes and has to be done before the game so that there's a professional atmosphere and you have a successful seaside arena. So there was a problem because our very first game of the year, it wasn't done. Some of the flags weren't set up when the referees decided to start the game. The game was actually stalled. Sandbags weren't set up. Coach got frustrated. Coach yelled at some of the freshmen. Obviously, the freshmen get frustrated because they didn't know what to do. The seniors were kind of like, well, figure it out. We learned when we were freshmen. So I decided to come up with a solution, and I decided to make game day managers. I decided to put 6 people in charge, one being me as a senior, so I could teach the freshmen, um, and 4 others being the freshmen. So those 5 would be the all-time game managers. Every game, those 5 will be in charge, and then every game, one person would be assigned. So as you can see here, I have a list of every home game, the date, and the assigned players. So for example, on the first game day, we had Eli. On the second one, we had Mark. All the way down to our very last game, where we have Besser de Avila, who will be having us on this Saturday. Our home games Thursday and Saturday. Anyways, so that was my solution, and actually, it was cool because I actually stepped in and did it myself, and coach was really appreciative of that. And it was good to see a senior come in and teach a freshman, but also keep that team tradition where freshmen have to kind of put their time in, right? So that other people didn't get frustrated and come together as a team and have a professional atmosphere where the problem was actually solved and made a good game day atmosphere. So that was my lean portfolio. Now we're going to jump into my analytics portfolio, which I decided to present to you today. My hypothesis testing. So in my hypothesis testing, I decided to compare the men and women World Cup attendance by numbers. So as you can see here, I did a comparative graph, and I compared the attendance of the men and women's. Here we have men in orange and women in gray from the year 1994 to 2015. Now, some of you soccer fans in the audience may say, well, there's no World Cup in 2015. Well, I decided to do 1994 to 2015 because the girls' World Cup, I shouldn't say girls, the women's World Cup follows 1 year after. So 1995 was the women's World Cup. 2014 was, and then 2015 was the women's. So I did it from 1994 to 2015. So in the next slide, I show what my hypothesis test was. And my hypothesis test was to see if to see if the mean of the men's World Cup was equal to the mean of the women's World Cup. So my test here, as you can see in my chart, shows that men's and women's means of the World Cup attendance is unequal. And like it shows right here, in this as shown here in the two-tail p-value test, the the number here, this number here, this yellow number, is smaller than the alpha, which is 0.05. This means we reject the age 0, and this means that there is a significant difference between the attendance of the men and women's attendance in numbers. So in layman terms, for those of you who don't understand that, because it was kind of tricky for me, basically men's World Cup attendance goes up into the millions and women's doesn't. Therefore, it's unequal. So that's my presentation. Those are my portfolios and my leans. And thank you for watching. Thank you for a great semester.